In the past month, 3 major UK retailers, Marks & Spencer's, the Co-op, and Harrods have been the targets of sophisticated hacks from a hacking collective known as Scattered Spider. What happened? Who is Scattered Spider? Should you be concerned? And what can you do to protect yourself? I'm C, and this is Scams, Hacks and Frauds. Marks & Spencer, or M&S, is a 141-year-old cornerstone of British retailing. Starting as a market stall in Leeds, it now has almost 1,500 locations, revenue of £13 billion, and almost 75,000 employees. Its largest stores sell clothing and food, additionally has many smaller food-only outlets. On April 23, 2025, following reports of problems with contactless payments and online orders, the company announced it was dealing with a major cyber incident. This incident would see online orders suspended, automated inventory systems disrupted, and problems maintaining freezer temperatures. The disruption would also see regular donations of food to charity suspended. As the days passed, the extent of the attack became increasingly clear. The hackers, known as Scattered Spider, had started their infiltration of M&S at least 2 months earlier. Finding help within the company's outsourced IT help desk, they accessed the encrypted file that stores passwords and decrypted it offline. This granted them access to legitimate accounts, allowing them to elevate their level of access and control over Marks & Spencer's systems. When the timing was right, they deployed a piece of software known as DragonForce Encryptor. The Spider's trap had been sprung. Later reports would suggest the hack caused £300 million in lost sales. Scattered Spider is a hacking collective based in the UK and the US, believed to consist of teenagers. They are thought to be responsible for a significant hack of MGM resorts and casinos. Scattered Spider's process is known to include purchasing domain names similar to those of their targets to carry out sophisticated phishing attacks. This includes hiring individuals to call their targets in attempts to extract information through social engineering techniques, such as those calls to the IT help desk. DragonForce is a separate but affiliated group that develops software used by hackers in cyber attacks. This software encrypts the victim's data and demands a ransom for its release. DragonForce retains 20% of the ransom, while the hackers utilizing the software receive the remaining 80%. However, DragonForce claims to adhere to a code of ethics, explicitly refusing to target healthcare providers. Who said there is an honor among thieves? Over the next few days, it became increasingly clear that M&S was not the only target of the Scattered Spider. The Co-op had reported that they too were also a target, but initially claimed that customer data was not affected. This triggered a response from Scattered Spider. They claimed they had data on as many as 20 million people and released a sample of this data to the BBC to prove it. If their claims are true, this would be almost a third of the total UK population. Days later, the retailer would report problems with contactless payments, and many stores, particularly in remote areas, spent days with empty shelves, making their initial denials very dubious. Additionally, iconic London retailer Harrods reported attempted breaches but claimed to have successfully repelled them, but no response has come from Scattered Spider. Yet. Situations like this are good reminders of exactly how many companies have our data and how much we rely on them to do the right thing to protect us. Media reports citing insiders at both M&S and Co-op talk about a lot of confusion and disorder inside these firms, with some reports suggesting that there was a complete lack of any contingency planning for this situation. So it might seem like there's nothing at all we can do. Now might be a good time to consider changing your passwords. Marks & Spencer do believe that customer passwords are accessed and will be resetting all customer passwords. But even if you're not an M&S customer, this is a good opportunity to talk about what constitutes a strong password. If you've been in the workforce for years, you may have been taught the passwords need to consist of random letters, numbers, and symbols. However, these passwords can be difficult to remember. Additionally, if they're not sufficiently long, they can be easily guessed by computers. A better approach for most users is to use a phrase or song lyric as a password, opting for a collection of words instead of just letters. While you should still include numbers, capital letters, and symbols, using a phrase will create a longer password that is more difficult for a computer to crack, whilst also being easier for you to remember. Although a longer password will make it take more time to crack a password, it isn't enough, as any password will be cracked given enough time. You need to have multi-factor authentication, sometimes called two-factor authentication, everywhere you can, especially on the most important things like your email and banking apps. Multi-factor authentication means that when you log in, you'll need more than just a password. You'll need your phone, email, or a physical token to prove that you are you. So even if your password is cracked, your account will be safe. There's probably no way now to stop data taken in hacks like this from being transferred to other nefarious groups. The genie is out of the bottle. What you can do, however, is take some proactive steps. Sign up for a service like Have I Been Pwned and services that check your credit report regularly for any unusual activity, so you know before anyone else if your details are being used. You should also be on the lookout for recovery scammers. These are people who get the details of people who have been the victims of scams and hacks like these. People may call, perhaps pretending to be from M&S or the Co-op or some other established reliable name, offering some sort of solution to problems caused by this hack or offer some sort of compensation. If you do get an unexpected call from any organization, the best thing to do is just hang up and call them on a known good phone number, such as that on the back of your card if it's your bank or some other paperwork, or if you're sure you're looking at it, the actual proper official website of the organization. Lastly, we don't mean to sound total tinfoil hat here, but having a few days stored long life food can't hurt, especially if you're in an area with restricted outlets for food. This isn't just in case of a hack, but many disasters, natural and otherwise, can make it hard to get to a store or see deliveries restricted. I've been C, and this has been Scams, Hacks and Frauds. If you found this useful, please share it with everyone you know. You can find more about our show and how to support us at scamshacksandfrauds.com. This podcast is available to reuse for free under the Creative Commons with Attribution Share Alike license. The music is not included in this license. For more information on the Creative Commons license, please visit creativecommons.org.